Yo, what is going on? PartTimerZack here. In today's video, we're going to be talking more about punishing Gray Raven. So I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the analytical videos and just jump in here and kind of showcase Alpha. So we've been talking a lot about her. We've been talking about the event, how to grind the event, and I finally got my Alpha to 5,000 BP, which I don't necessarily know if that's super high or not, but it is definitely the highest that I have out of any character that I have. So showcasing all the memories that I kind of have. If you can already kind of tell, I have 4 patents and my 2 Darwins. Each one of them have max residence, so each one of these guys are going to be essentially maxed out for the residence. Now I do have a couple of these guys that need to go up in a couple levels, as you can see, so they're not totally maxed out. 45 is the max level, so I do need to go in there and grind a little bit, but I kind of want to just get to 5,000 and kind of show her in Warzone, because that is where I have the most fun with her. Now I have been kind of slacking on Warzone a little bit because I've really just been jumping in here and doing the event, and I know this doesn't take any stamina, but I always keep forgetting to do it, so I've been demoted quite a bit. I used to be up here with the elite, and I've been sitting kind of up there, but then I got demoted quite a bit because I've been kind of taking a break from doing Warzone and just really focusing on jumping on and doing, you know, my event stuff and whatnot. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this and kind of showcase Alpha a little bit more. I did have a couple of people who were rather new to the game still wondering, hey, is Alpha a decent unit? And I realized that we never really showcased her that much. We honestly just kind of talked about her, and I just had the notion that everybody just kind of knew that she was really good, and never really considered like, hey, maybe I should just actually do a gameplay of her and showcase like, hey, this is how good she is. And I gotta say right now, honestly, she's one of my favorite units. I do love Bianca, mainly because I love the range aspect to her, and I will be going for, you know, S Bianca and stuff like that when she comes out. But for right now, I've had a lot of fun just playing Alpha and getting the gist essentially of her kit and how it kind of works. So I've had a lot of fun just kind of jumping in here as a melee character. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of A Bianca, and so I was kind of getting used to that little bit more melee or ranged kind of stuff. And so when I was jumping into Alpha, I did have kind of a learning curve, I guess you could say, because I'm not used to being up in their face and having to dodge that way. I'm used to being able to be a little bit more ranged, but honestly, not that bad at all. It's a lot of fun to kind of slash through stuff. I do know that her animations are kind of, I will say a little annoying sometimes, is a lack for a better word. They're really flashy, really cool, but sometimes when you're trying to get to a certain point, especially in Warzone, when you're trying to clear the wave, which we'll talk about here in a couple seconds when we jump into the last one, it gets very kind of annoying because it's a little chaotic essentially whenever you're trying to see essentially what you're trying to do. So there are actual buttons and stuff you can change in the settings to make it a little less. You can turn the graphic settings a little less, you know, down or whatever. You can make it a little more visible, but it doesn't do a whole lot because I do have it on the lowest amount you can have. Oh my god, I'm getting wrecked. Oh my god, I almost died. Luckily I realized that scared me. Luckily I always have my Bianca though. I don't like the second mission of Warzone because I never realize my health. I just sit there and, you know, play or whatever, and then I'm like, oh wait, I gotta worry about my damn health and I'm gonna die. So luckily I was paying attention at that last possible second though to say, okay, well, I need to not die. So I do think Bianca will be okay. So I used to do this with just Bianca, right? And I would have such a hard time because Bianca would be like my only DPS character that I would have kind of equipped. So whenever I would need to essentially swap out, because it does make it a lot easier whenever you swap out of characters when your health is constantly going low, it just made it a lot easier when I had an extra character. When I finally got Alpha, I was like, oh my god, this one is actually pretty easy when you have somebody to swap off on. But if you're trying to run through it the whole entire time with just the one character, it does become quite troublesome, especially when you're ranged and stuff like that, because you can't always get very close. And if you get hit at any point, like that's kind of what happened to my Alpha there, is I just got smacked at the beginning and I was like, oh wait, my health is also being taken down. So this is what I really want to showcase. This is where I think Alpha's bread and butter is. So this is really going to be kind of contingent on a lot of different things. Honestly, the way that you play here is going to be a little bit more of a prominent thing. So like when you use her abilities, when you're jumping in with her, like what are you doing with your wind waves or your sword waves anyway? And how are you utilizing your abilities and your dodges? So obviously you could jump in here and you can just do runs and stuff like that, but it does take a certain level of like reluctance essentially to use certain abilities and stuff like that, because like right there I wanted to see if I could wait to use this on this wave, because what I want to do essentially, if I can, is wait until ults and her sword wave to essentially clear waves as fast as I can. So I will wait for the next wave. This is a small wave. Normally I wouldn't use the ult here, but I think I can get through this wave really quickly if I decide to use the ult here, which I probably will be able to. The only contingent thing here that's going to kind of mess me up is this big dude over here. I can kind of see him trying to flirt with me a little bit. and I don't necessarily like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take him out. A little bit of a waste on a win or on a sword wave there, but it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right as far as that goes. But she is just devastating. You can see that she does a lot of AoE, and I really feel like that's probably her like bread and butter when it comes to just doing the Warzone stuff, because you're able to do these clears like relatively fast. So even right here, I think I'm just going to use that 3 stack, even though, you know, I wouldn't necessarily want to, but I will ping this one so that I'm ready for the next wave. So I'm going to use my ult here. Now I'm probably going to have to use the sword wave again, because these big guys are not really hard to kill, but they have quite a bit of health. And when they start jumping at you like that, you kind of just want to get rid of them as fast as you can. Unfortunately, it didn't lock on to where I wanted it to. I wanted it to hit 2 at a time. But being on this is a little bit harder. Actually, I think I could do this. Sorry for the silence. No! I was 1 second away from clearing that wave. So essentially you get points based on the waves you clear, how much damage is dealt, and how much health you have. So that'll be kind of a big one. Honestly, it's not the worst case scenario, and I have quite a bit. Now let's see where I'm at in the grand scheme of things. See, so whenever I actually kind of go in here, you can see that I get a little bit higher. Now, that's what's saying, like, you can actually do 2 of these. So essentially the next day, I will open this one up and I will do this one as well. So I will probably be a lot higher than that, because a lot of these guys have done probably both. So that was just kind of an idea that I wanted to give you. Essentially, if you've never seen alpha, or maybe you're still on the fence about it, or you just kind of want to see some alpha gameplay, that's just kind of what I wanted to do and jump in here. So anyway, guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.